Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. The management of Marigo Bay Resort and Marina revealed that they have been working behind the scenes to give back to the youth of different communities through the adoption of 3 learning institutions. Pearl Flavia of the resort says this is a passion that she intends to press on further with.
Charity begins at home, and for the management of one resort, they are going beyond words and turning this saying into action. The Director of Operations at the Marigo Bay Resort and Marina, Pearl Flavian, has been on a mission to give back to the community through her tireless community outreach programs, where the doorway is opened for the youth to benefit and grow. Flavian said she has a strong passion for helping people, and through her affiliation with the resort is using the available avenues to work on that passion. To date, the resort and marina has adopted the Marigo Bay Daycare, the Lakwamengo Primary School and the John Odlum Secondary School. Flavia said with the secondary school, the resort is working closely with the Agricultural Division.
The Agricultural Division is very close to me personally, having come from an agricultural background as well. So all of their produce is sold to the hotel. So it's not a case of calling to find out whether we will buy from them. They can just take the items to the hotel and we will purchase them. That goes back into purchasing supplies for the school.
Flavian added that the resort is in discussion with the other 2 schools in order to get them the supplies that they need. Sports, she said, is also on the agenda.
That's my passion as well. I love sporting activities, and I personally believe that a lot can come out of sports. So we're looking at the football division of the entire area. There's a team. We have started discussion with the president of the football club to see how we can work with them.
The operations director said she is hoping to see more corporate entities get on board with similar initiatives, as this will contribute greatly towards a better St. Lucia.
Why not engage more with the different communities? So if there is a hotel in, let's say, Castries Central as an example, who from your hotel is reaching out to the community? So if each hotel or each company had a similar community outreach program, we would learn a lot more about what's really happening in society and lend a hand where necessary.
The resort's most recent community outreach initiatives included the painting of the Lakwamengo Primary School and the adoption of a family. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. As the world moves towards more environmentally conscious action, so too has the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Solange Alfred tells us more.
State-of-the-art hybrid and electric vehicles will require skilled auto repair mechanics well versed in the operation of these new age vehicles. Monday, 2nd December, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College DTEMS Division launched its week-long electric vehicle maintenance and repair training program. Public Utilities Officer Kurt Inglis says participants will undergo rigorous training to familiarize themselves with the inner workings of electric and hybrid vehicles.
This initiative is an extremely important initiative in terms of transitioning from what we commonly use in the transport sector to something that is cleaner, something that is safer, and something that will really drive our society forward. The advent of electric vehicles, especially on the global market, is really transforming the way that the transport sector operates. And seeing as St. Lucia is, like the rest of the Caribbean, a haven for internal combustion engine vehicles that the more developed countries do not want in their systems anymore. I believe that it is up to us to define our destiny and define it by telling them that, hey, you may not want it, we don't want it either. We are ready to move into a new generation of transportation, and that generation is decarbonized, that generation is electric.
Facilitator for the training program and Institute of Motor Industry Certified Consultant Rob Ward of Rob Ward Consulting based in the UK says the risk associated with hybrid vehicle repair dictates proper training for auto repair specialists as to avoid high voltage mishaps.
This is really only the beginning of the electric vehicle revolution, and here in St. Lucia you will start to see more and more hybrid and electric vehicles being owned, and therefore they need working on, and if they crash they need repairing, and it's absolutely vital that those works are carried out safely, because these vehicles carry a risk of high voltage to people working on them.
Meanwhile, Inglis says the objective remains creating sustainability within the contemporary car industry by ensuring stakeholders are equipped to repair electric and hybrid vehicles.
This is why we partnered with the South Lewis Community College, and why we are training a number of their staff so that we can look to creating this sustainability in a program housed at the South Lewis Community College, where we can continue to roll out the necessary technicians that we need.
For his part, Ward says the move away from internal combustion engines to hybrid and electric vehicles will fare well for St. Lucia on its drive to attain its sustainable development goals. He says the petrol industry need not fear, as hybrid vehicles make accommodations for both petrol and electricity. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The impending UK election slated for the 12th of December threatens economic stability for islands heavily reliant on UK visitors as part of their tourism market. Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede lends his voice to the conversation, affirming his trust in the resilience of the UK economy. He shares his anticipation moving closer to the elections and says he does not foresee any major drawbacks following the UK election.
Whenever there is an election in a country, you see that there is economic instability. And usually the trend is when an election year coincides with a slump in arrival. The UK customer, they have proven extremely resilient despite all of the uncertainties that are taking place with Brexit. We see that they continue to travel. In fact, our UK numbers year to date should be close to double digits or over double digits. Memory doesn't serve me well now, but it's a very big number, tremendous increases, and we are very confident that we will continue to see the UK traveller coming to St. Lucia in very high numbers. So I don't foresee that there will be a slump at all, because in particular in the UK, I think that travelling has now become a necessity.
Recently, a microscope has been placed on the UK tourism market with the announced pullout by Virgin Atlantic after servicing the island for 21 years. Further compounding the air carrier issue, British travel company and airline Thomas Cook declared bankruptcy, further impacting the island's key UK tourism source market. St. Lucia is well on its way to formulating a revised national ICT policy and sectoral strategy following the just concluded 4-day symposium to review the current document, which covered the period 2013 to 2018. More in this report.
The Division of Public Sector Modernization organized the symposium, which was held from the 25th to the 28th of November at the Coco Palm Hotel, bringing together public sector policymakers and the civil society and private sector representatives. Over the 4 days, participants discussed, among other pertinent agenda items, the various development strategies that make up the national ICT policy and sectoral strategy.
So, for example, we looked at the midterm strategy from the Economic Planning Ministry. We also looked at the Education Development Plan and the ICT policy. We looked at health, agriculture, and all of the others that we could have found some of the development strategies for the next few years, 3 to 5 years. And we looked at some of the key result areas and the groups were required to review these key result areas and to formulate plans and come up with ideas as to how ICT can better facilitate those results that the different agencies require for the implementation within their own sectors. This went really, really well. We had a high level of turnout and participation from the various sectors represented.
Nasser said the participants were also successful in establishing some key goals.
So we have established some sector working groups, and these sector working groups would meet from January to February next year to review some of the work that came out and the recommendations that came out of the consultation in an effort for us to finalize all of the programs, all of the projects, and to also come up with a governance framework which is key to the implementation and the sustainability at itself of the policy and strategy going forward. We want to ensure that we have continuous buy-in, support, and advice as well as we go through the implementation of the strategy and the policy over time. We're looking at a 15-year cycle, but to review every 5 years.
According to NASIS, the 5-year review is necessary to ensuring that the national ICT policy and sectoral strategy remains current and that government meets the needs of the various sectors as the recommended programs and initiatives are implemented. The new national ICT policy and sectoral strategy is expected to be completed by March 2020 and subsequently submitted to Cabinet. From the Department of the Public Service Communications Unit, Julita Peter reporting.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Sports, weather are coming up next.